Hello, greetings and salutations. This is the Real Agent P, and today I am enjoying some nice raspberry tea and a nice little Cheshire Cat Alice mug. And my guest today is a longtime FGC content creator, tournament organizer, and just all-around great guy, tGrass. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, thank you for coming on. I always appreciate when my guests come on and make time for me, so it's a good thing. Now, a little behind the scenes, we're actually recording this a day later than we had originally agreed to because I don't know about tGrass over here, but I'm an old man and I forget things, and I had it in my head that we were recording today instead of yesterday. So like when I looked at my phone, I freaked out for a second, but thankfully we were able to work things out.
Yeah, it happens.
Yep. So we're gonna just dive in to some really deep, hard-hitting questions here, man. Okay. What's your favorite color?
Yellow or green. I kind of go back in between those two. Yellow or green is usually where I go.
Okay. Now, whenever you're choosing a fighting game person or a team or a character, do you normally try to stick with those kind of color aesthetics, or is it just whatever looks cool on the character?
Honestly, it's funny because I usually just go for like the edge color palette, like the all white with the black, or like the black with the all white, or something like that. I feel like I always hover to those colors for some reason.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a black and red kind of guy when I normally pick my.
Yeah,
I've been leaning towards purple more over the past couple character sets I've been doing, but no, the all white and all black usually look pretty sharp.
For Dragon Ball especially, I like to go with the all white as much as I can.
Oh yeah. All right, so next hard-hitting one. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza?
I'm a New Yorker. I gotta say pizza. it's just the best here.
Okay, so you're not a fan of deep dish, then I would take it. Since you're.
I mean, I don't think it's like the worst thing. It's definitely not my favorite, but I like normal New York style pizza. Okay. But like deep dish, it's all right. I'd have it once in a while. It's not my go-to though.
All right, now does pineapple belong on pizza?
No. I'm an Italian. For all the other Italians out there, if you put pineapple on pizza, that's how you get excommunicado from the family. So I'm gonna give a hard no on that one.
Give a whole like Godfather thing. It's like
yeah. Day of my daughter's wedding, you put pineapple on pizza.
You come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married.
All right, so with that whole pineapple on pizza thing, is there a food that you would rather die than actually eat? And now we're talking like normal like food, like that people consider good, that you are just like
I'm honestly the least picky eater in the world, but I hate licorice. I mean, that's candy. I don't know if that counts as food, but I absolutely despise that.
We can count it. That'll count. Yeah, because I'm not a huge black licorice fan either. Like the red,
I hate it. The red Twizzlers, those aren't technically licorice, but I'll eat those. But it has the worst flavor in the world to me. The
so
black one, the black licorice.
You're probably not a fan of like Jägermeister, then, are you?
Not really. No.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So getting into the whole content creation side of this, like, what made you decide to do it? What made you decide to content create, and then what made you decide to do the FGC specifically?
So content creation has kind of always been like a dream of mine since I was a kid, like literally growing up and starting like the early years of like Achievement Hunter. Like I always wanted to do what those people did, and it's just something I always wanted to stick to, and it took me till a very long time to get to finally doing it, but it's something I've always been passionate about. And for fighting games, I don't know. It's like I played them a lot as a kid, and like a lot of my friends didn't like them, but they always kind of just stuck to me. Like I'm very competitive, and like I was a wrestler in high school, so like a lot of that, like you put it all on yourself, like you work on yourself, you can't blame anyone else, like kind of thing, kind of just gravitated me towards that. Other than that, really, also just Maximilian. Maximilian's like my idol. I love that dude. I mean, he just makes great stuff.
He's kind of the godfather of FGC creation. I mean, really, that's all there is to it. So with your wrestling, do you think that brought you more towards like the fighting game side of video games, just the competitiveness of it, or?
I definitely think so. Yeah, without it, honestly, I wasn't really huge into like fighting, but wrestling was interesting for me, and like fighting games are a good way because I feel like those things really Like they're very close. I know like one's obviously very physical, which is, you know, fighting games, of course, not wrestling. No, I think wrestling and fighting games share a lot of parallels, so it was very easy to get absorbed in it and like understand where your strengths and weaknesses are and how to grow, because you did it in real life already.
Does that like shift your focus on what type of character do you play? Like, do you tend to go, since you're a wrestler, do you tend to go more for like the grapplers or anything like that, or does that not factor in as much?
Honestly, no. I definitely have a hard time figuring out what characters I like in games a lot. I definitely never play like big grappler characters. It's never like my thing. But I usually go a mix between just like characters with like big strong buttons or just rush down characters, which I guess imitates everything I do competitively, because I'm always like, let's go in, let's keep going, let's just keep pushing.
Just gotta get in there.
Yeah.
All right, so who's the out of all the FGC characters, all the fighting game characters that you've played, who would you say is your favorite one that you've ever played as? Any game.
Oh man, I know I'm just gonna get hate for this, because like everybody knows from when I played Dragon Ball, but like I don't know what it is, but like Goku Black is that's my character. I could just never drop the character. Played him since day one. Like I just understand everything, the strengths and weaknesses. A lot of weaknesses, sadly, but like I feel like I can never put that character down.
Yeah, no, he's got some pretty good stuff. Like whenever you can get into like the sauciness of him, like
yeah, it's just the hard stuff, and people are like, oh, well, you have to try so hard to get these things, and I'm like, yeah, but like, you know, I like the character, I like the moves, I like the character from the show, so like, you know, just let it be. I'll learn it if I want to learn it. You go play your top tiers. Don't worry about it.
I actually up until he's really the end of season 2, I hadn't even touched him, and then I was doing a challenge on my channel. Where I had people pick my teams for me, and somebody finally picked Goku Black for me to play, and I ended up really liking him, liking the way he feels, liking his buttons. So I kind of put a little time into him, and I think the thing I like about him most is that he's sassy. Is that like whenever he's talking to you, he's just sassy. He's like, "Look at me, I am beautiful. You suck," kind of thing. So like,
he talks down to you. He hits you with the physical and the mental deterioration.
Exactly, and he's always scheming. Like at the end of like whenever in his victory screens, if he's like with UI or Blue Q or anything like that, he's like, oh, you reach this form, that means I can too, kind of thing. So it's like,
yeah, he's like, oh, cool, I can do that too. I just gotta keep going, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So on the flip side of that, who would you say is your least favorite character that you ever played or to play against?
Oh man, this is an interesting one. I really don't like I sound so horrible when I say this. I don't like zoners or grapplers. I mean, so far we've been playing a lot of Guilty Gear, obviously, as it's coming up. I do not like Axel in that game. He's very annoying. He keeps you full screen, even has moves when you get in close that if he gets a hit, he can send you back to full screen. And like, even in Dragon Ball, like, I hated fighting Frieza. I just was not good against zoners. They just like, I'm like, you know, monkey go in, and then they're like, oh, here's a bunch of projectiles. You're just gonna sit there. So I definitely do not like zoners.
Yeah, and so you brought up Guilty Gear, and at the time of recording, it's not out yet.
Sadly.
Yeah, sadly. I'm so ready for it. But if you've got the early release, I think it's like 4 days that we have to wait. So
yeah, Monday at midnight for Easter. Monday midnight Eastern.
Almost there. Like, I might. I'm tempted to take Tuesday off and be sick.
But, I can understand.
But I'm still new enough at my job. I'm not gonna risk that. But,
yeah, I get that.
But yeah, no. You have put together a beginners tournament for Guilty Gear. Hey guys, Future Agent P popping in here. I have to make a quick little clarification here. Whenever I was talking about this beginners tournament, I had actually signed up for both tGrass's tournament and Low Kick Esports tournament. And it was Low Kick that was running the beginners tournament, and tGrass was just running a normal Guilty Gear tournament. And in my old man brain, I got those mixed up. So if he seems a little confused about me calling it a beginners tournament, that's why. And I do apologize to tGrass. After we got done, it clicked, and I'm like, oh, crap. So I just wanted to come in and make that clarification for you. So yeah, back to the tea. So like what made you decide to do the beginners part of it instead of just saying, hey, we're gonna do a tournament? Like what made you like kind of specify?
I really don't specify for beginners, but I like beginners to feel welcome in most of my tournaments. It was the same thing when I ran grassroots for Dragon Ball. I don't necessarily put the quotes like beginners like only, but I want beginners to feel welcome, especially because a lot of people are coming into Guilty Gear that have never played the games before. Like I only really started playing the games in the last like 6 months, and like I love them. They're really fun. But it's really important in the fighting game community as a whole to just, when people want to pick up these games, it's really important that they have a good first impression. Because I have tons of friends in real life that pick up a fighting game after, like it's been out for 6 months to a year. I teach them some stuff. They jump online. Some guy just like 50-50s them like 8 times, and they're like, "This game is fucking stupid." Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Fine, let it fly. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, they're like, "This game is stupid, man." I don't understand it. So like, I want beginners, especially when a game is coming out, to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna give this a try. There's gonna be a lot of people like me that are doing this, so like I guess I should just take a leap and just go for it." That's what I want to encourage the people to do.
Okay. Yeah, so I know that I've entered it. I'm excited to be in it.
It's gonna be a good time.
This is my first Guilty Gear game. Like I hadn't played anything up until the open beta of Strive, and I just like it immediately just hooked me. Like this.
It's a fun game.
This is a fun game. So like I probably had like 3 or 4 hours in the first beta, probably 5 hours total in the second beta, and yeah, just a good time. So I'm real stoked to be in it, real stoked to get into other tournaments. Yeah, like I'm so stoked for the whole like content creation side of this too. Like just pumping out new videos, pumping out new guides, digging into characters, like.
Yep, you're speaking my language here. I'm ready.
Yeah. So, now Guilty Gear, besides being a really good like FGC series, is also really known for its music. So, what would you say is your favorite like genre of music, and if you have a favorite like artist or band?
I'm a little weird when it comes to music. I go through a lot of phases as I've gotten older. I really like right now, I've been listening to a lot of bands. I listened to a lot of metalcore recently, which is a lot like Guilty Gear music, but just like heavy and like changing vocals. But I also really like rap music, so I guess if I had to give one from each, those are probably my two favorite genres. My favorite rapper is Logic. I get a bunch of hate for that because I don't know, people just don't like him. My favorite, I guess, band is probably Periphery. I really like them. They're pretty cool.
I've never heard of them.
They make metalcore music, and they like make a lot of very long songs. Like there's this very famous song they have called Reptile, is like 17 minutes long, but it's like 3 songs in one. It's really good.
Okay, I was gonna say kind of like Symphony X, but they're a little bit more like orchestra metal than that. But
yeah,
they also
it's a little bit
super long songs. So
yeah, it's more like just like I guess like another band in that genre would be like sort of Bring Me the Horizon, if you ever heard of them. They're kind of like that, where it's just like, there's some screaming, but there's some normal vocals, there's breakdowns. It's good stuff when you're in the car and you're like, I hate traffic. You're like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I would. I don't know. That's relaxing music to me, honestly. Like when most people are like consider angry music, I will sit down and like take a nap too. So
yeah, I mean, everybody's different. Some people like get in my car and they're like, "You really like this stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, you can listen to a bunch of different things even within the music. Like you could like listen to the music and hear just the drums or like just the guitar or the bass or focusing on the vocals, and it's like almost like a different experience every time you listen to it."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, like a lot of people like the metal as a genre is very complex.
Yeah, it's a million different subgenres of it already. It's a lot like rap and like hip hop because like there's so many different like styles and very small things that just change it from genre to genre. It's very interesting actually.
Oh yeah. And then whenever you get into just even within an individual genre, like different band styles and the different like compositions of time signatures and just all the varying stuff that you can get into within the music itself. It's just makes me happy.
Yeah, music is a beautiful thing. Music is just very great.
Oh yeah. Now, do you have like a favorite song? I know a lot of people have like favorite bands. Do you have a favorite song? It doesn't have to be by your favorite band either. Like,
I don't really know. I don't think so. I think I just like to rotate a lot of my music out. Like I like to listen to like certain genres for very certain periods of time. So like when my favorite song changes a lot. Right now I honestly have been listening to a lot of just like honestly video game soundtracks and like stuff around that, like Devil May Cry. Like they make that's some good music right there.
oh yeah.
I guess if I had to pick one right now, I listen to Bury the Light from Devil May Cry 5 like every day. It's such a good song.
Now, that actually transitions very nicely into my next question I had for you. So,
Okay.
Obviously, with favorites, you have favorite games. So, what would you say is your favorite non-fighting game?
Oh, this one's easy. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It's the greatest game ever made.
Good answer. Good answer.
It's the greatest video game ever made.
Yeah.
And people who don't understand why, you just don't get it. And maybe one day you will, but there's too many layers to get involved with.
Yeah, no, it was really ahead of its time when it came out. Like
Still holds up well.
It holds up insanely well.
Yeah.
I'm a Zelda fan, if you couldn't tell. So
You can't see it, but I have all the links on the poster right here. I have all
Nice.
the different versions of the Link. I'm a huge Zelda fan.
Nice. Yeah, like we've got a ton of the Zelda amiibos, but those are in our living room where our Switch is and everything. But
Yeah, I have
like,
some.
yeah, like we've got a ton of them. But that one, that painting back there, that was made by a local artist in our area.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, he's
Cool.
actually a friend of mine, and
That's awesome.
yeah, so I'm just like, dude, that's sweet. You gotta have that. he's like, I think it was like $60 or something. It's very reasonable price too. So,
Yeah,
but no,
especially for painting.
yeah.
Paintings can be very expensive.
Yeah, no, these guys do great work, and they have very good prices on their stuff too. So, like, I'll probably end up, since I'm talking about them, I'll probably end up dropping a link to their Facebook page or something down in the description. So,
There you
if you're
go.
interested, go check them out. They're really good people.
Help the homies out.
Exactly,
We love that.
exactly. But no, dude, yeah, Ocarina was such a good game. Just such
It's amazing.
yeah.
There's so many layers to it, and it's a game that played so many different ways, right? Like, I have one side of the game where like I love the speedrunning side. It's it's a fantastic like true speed game. And then there's like entertainment side. You could watch a bunch of different people play it, and they all play it differently. And then there's like the randomizers, and then when you finally sit down and play it, like when your approach to the game it's very interesting. It's just such a good story, and if you pay attention, it has so many interesting storytelling elements that none of the other Zelda games even have. I could talk about this for like hours on end, honestly.
Yeah, I think the only one that the only two that I think even kind of come close to it really are Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess. Like, those two
It's
are
good picks.
after Ocarina of Time, because I mean that's I agree
That's
with
the
you
one.
totally. That is up here. Like, anybody who says
Yeah.
it's not up here, you're kind of
Yeah.
wrong. But
Yeah.
like after that, I'd say like Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess are probably the next best two.
Yeah, I
in
like
the
those ones a
series.
lot.
Yeah, like the whole wolf transformation for me was just like, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that game, man, I've played it so many times. Played the original version, the HD version. I'm one of those people who's like, oh, did you know that the GameCube version of Twilight Princess actually is the correct version because Link is left-handed, and if you played it on the Wii, it's actually reverted because Japanese developers knew that it would be more correct for most people playing the Wii for Link to be right-handed along with the motion controls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that kind of person.
No, I'm right there with you, because I own the GameCube version. I don't own the Wii version, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I have it like, right in my closet right here.
yeah, I'm like, yeah. This is the correct version. Everything else is backwards.
Yeah, it's mirrored completely the whole
Yeah.
game. It's very interesting.
Yeah, which is a very neat way to like fix that issue of like, I'm swinging with my right hand because I'm right-handed and that's how the controls are, but he's swinging with his left hand. It's like it is a good way to fix that issue. But
Listen, I'm a left-handed person. I'll take every left-handed protagonist to my soul. There's not many of us out there, so us lefties, we gotta stand all lefties.
now then, like, I think with with Breath of the Wild, they really did a good job of doing like the exploration part and being able to go out there and really either take that whole, I'm going to try to get everything 100% completion, or speed run and just like, okay, cool, I got my magnet, I'm just going to zap my ass right off the canyon and
right off the canyon.
and
You're like, I'm coming, flying through the sky.
Yeah. So, like, I've seen some crazy, like, making levitation like machine out of like carts and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
like
the stuff you can do in Breath of the Wild is insane. Like, where you're like, oh, if you want to get from this corner of the map to the other corner, just, hit it 5 times with your axe, shoot an arrow in this direction, jump on top, and don't fall off. And you're just like, it's like a fast travel in itself.
Yeah, it's so great. And then just like the dragons in there, how they're huge and just like, honestly,
it's
just
so
gorgeous.
Cool.
Like, such a good game. I need to play that one.
Yeah.
I
do too. I only played it on the Wii U when it came out. I didn't have a Switch yet, so I was like, I think I gotta dip my toes in the Switch version.
Yeah, we got it on the Switch. We actually got the collector's edition for the Switch. It's one of the things that made me buy a Switch, was like that when that came out. I'm like, okay, we're getting a Switch and we're getting the collector's version of that. So we got the Switch case that looks like the tablet and everything.
It's the Sheikah Slate. Yeah, it's so cool.
So nice. Such a good, it was such a good set because it came with like the music and
yeah. I feel like we could talk about Zelda for forever.
I'm sure we could. My best friend growing up, that was his favorite game series. Like, my favorite game series is Final Fantasy, but his is Zelda. Right. And so I brought him into Final Fantasy, he brought me into Zelda, and it just, that whole nice meshing just happened. And
yeah, good games.
All the better for it.
Yeah.
So, switching gears just a little bit here, we're going to talk about cinema. So what would you say is your favorite genre of movies? Like, what's your go-to?
I like a lot of fantasy stuff. I like sci-fi and fantasy, and probably those are like my 2 favorite if I'm like looking for a story in a movie. But I also really like comedy a lot. But sci-fi and fantasy hold like probably my favorite films.
Okay, so what would you say are your favorite films then?
All right, so this is a 2-headed question, right? My favorite standalone film is Ready Player One. I've seen it like 100 times. I love that movie because every time you watch it, you can notice something different in the background, and it's very interesting. And my favorite trilogy is Lord of the Rings, but only the extended version because it's just better. There's so much going on there.
Oh yes. Yeah, I've owned. I spent so much money on Lord of the Rings, the movies, because like, whenever they were coming out, that was an easy Christmas present for my sister, is that I would buy her the extended edition DVDs of Lord of the Rings. And at that time I was living with her, so like I got to watch them, so I'm like, I'm kind of just buying them for myself.
Gift for yourself.
Yeah. But I'm like, it works out. And then when the Blu-rays came out, when they first came out with the Blu-ray special edition, extended edition ones, and the whole like box set was like $120 or something like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy it. So I went and
you have to. I don't have the Blu-rays, I only have the DVDs, but they come in like, they look like the books in like a case and everything, and it's got all the other discs with the bonus features and behind the scenes, and like, man, like they could throw money at everything for I'll throw money at anything Lord of the Rings related, honestly. Yeah.
Now the one thing I don't get with the Blu-rays, and I don't get why they did it, is on the DVDs where you have to like stop disc 1 and put in disc 2. They kept that with the Blu-rays for whatever reason.
That's interesting.
I don't know why they didn't just mash it back together, but because a Blu-ray definitely has the amount of space.
Yeah.
But they have it's the same setup as the DVDs, where they have like disc 1, disc 2, and then you have your special features on another disc. So it's not like they were cramming everything onto 2 discs. It's they had.
I don't know. I kind of like it for some weird reason. But
it is kind of nice because then you can be like, okay, cool, I can take a break for a second.
Yeah. You're like, well, time to get up, use the bathroom, grab a snack,
Stretch. Yeah, no, me and some really close friends always talked about having a Tolkien day where we'd get together, like meet up at a house, eat breakfast, watch the first Lord of the Rings extended edition, eat lunch, second, eat dinner, watch the third one, and then just crash out there. So,
Yeah, I mean that's like a 14-hour day right there.
Mhm.
Like with breakfast and what about second breakfast, of course?
Yes, of course. See, that's the thing. Like,
11Z's, that kind of thing.
luncheon, afternoon tea.
Exactly.
See, and I'm a cook too, so like I do a ton of cooking.
Yeah.
So
that's
like,
what's up.
So I'd be like making full English breakfast with beans and bangers and everything, and yeah, I'd get way too into it.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's
No.
absolutely nothing wrong with
No.
that.
One-
If you like something, honestly, if you could make a day of it like once a year, like that's a good day right there.
Oh yeah.
It's hard enough to get my friends to watch the regular version sometimes, but the extended versions, sometimes I watch the regular version if I catch it on TV, and I'm like sitting there and I watch it. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff just like not there. That's crazy. It's interesting how much they like really add to the movies with the extended versions.
Oh yeah, like Saruman dying.
Yeah, they're just like, here you go.
That's
This
like-
is
Oh, this is how. Oh, the orb's in the water. Okay, cool. The orb's in the water. But how did
Yeah.
it get there? That's how it
Yeah.
got there.
a lot. There's a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff that just like, wow, there's like 3 characters we haven't seen in an hour of the movie. I wonder what they were doing. And like in the extended version, they're like, this is what they were doing. This is where
Mhm.
they were going.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is they weren't even able to put like everything from the books in either, because those
Yeah,
books are just
yeah,
so
I mean,
detailed. Like I know that was a big
it's-
thing. Like Tom Bombadil wasn't in there at all. I know that was a big thing that people were like, "Why isn't Tom Bombadil in there?" I'm like, does he really need to be? Like,
Yeah,
not really, but it'd be cool if it was.
I'm less critical when it comes to the Lord of the Rings books to the movies, because I feel like, especially for how old the movies are, also just a PSA out there for anyone who sees this, please don't ever reboot Lord of the Rings. They still are in a fine place. You'll never get another cast like that. They are just, it sits in time forever. But I'm less critical when it comes to Lord of the Rings book to movie than I am with like The Hobbit, because I really did not like the movies a lot, which was unfortunate, because like I was like, Lord of the Rings, they're not rebooting the movies, they're doing a different book, like I'm so in it. And I saw the first movie and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna see the rest of them, and I did not do that.
Yeah, I will say I did watch all of them, and I do own all the extended versions of The Hobbit, but they really only needed to make 2 at most.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I always like, the second one is The Desolation of Smoke, and I'm like, why is there a third movie? What is going on after that? They need another 3 hours of content to
Yeah.
put into it.
Like an unexpected journey, and then there and back again. That's all you
Yeah.
needed, and that was the original intention of it. But studio like
Money,
yeah,
money,
like stretch this out, make this a trilogy. Everything's
We're
got to
gonna
be a
make
trilogy.
bunch of money, and he's
Yeah.
like, and this DVD sales, we're gonna make up more money.
Yeah. So, which I honestly, even though I own all 3 of them, I don't think I've actually watched all 3 of them. I don't think I've seen at least the 3rd one since I bought it. But
And that tells the whole story.
yeah, it's a collection thing for me at this point. Like
Yeah.
I gotta finish that collection. So
Yeah, I
it's
can
gotta look
understand
nice.
that.
It's just gotta look nice, but yeah, how that goes. So, switching off of movies specifically, what would you say are some of your favorite TV shows?
I don't really watch a lot of TV unless you really count. If you count anime, does that count as TV?
Separate section.
See, I don't really watch a lot of TV. Honestly, the last few shows I ever watched on TV were like The Walking Dead, and like I stopped watching that show a few years ago. And Arrow, I loved Arrow until like they got to the later seasons.
Mm-hmm.
If you count Invincible, which is just not anime,
Which
I'd say Invincible was pretty good. I really liked that.
Invincible was nice. Like I was
Yeah.
surprised. It really shocked my wife. I kinda knew what was coming because I had a very like surface level knowledge of the comics. Like kind of knew what was gonna happen, and I knew that it
Right.
was more graphic than the normal stuff. But yeah, the end of the first episode, my wife was just like, what did I just watch? And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's just how this goes. Come on.
Yeah, my girlfriend is she's not really into the gore stuff, so like I was like, I'm gonna watch this one by myself. She's like, yeah, that's all you. And I'm like, all right, cool.
All right,
It's
so
pretty much with the gore.
all right, so anime, since it was already brought up,
Right.
what would you say is some of your favorite animes?
My favorite anime of all time is Naruto. I love Naruto. That is not Naruto right there. That's Minato, but that is my favorite show. I also obviously really like Dragon Ball, Full Metal Alchemist, My Hero. I like a lot of shonens, to be honest. Jujutsu Kaisen, recently watched that. That was really good. Honestly, kind of blew me out of the water. That was really, really good.
What do you think of the leaked information about the My Hero Fighters? What do you think about that?
So I read it. I don't know if you read the whole post.
I did not. I kind of just got the surface level stuff on Twitter. So.
Right. Yeah. So I read the post and like the explaining like the story of the game. It is like literally a word for word rip off of the story for Fighters, but in the My Hero universe, pretty much. And I was like, this leak doesn't look too good so far. And then I looked at like the cast and I was like, this looks like a lot of villains, like a weirdly amount of villains for a show called My Hero. So I don't know if it's true. If it is true, I'm for it. I'll play it. You know, I mean, as long as All Might's in the game, I'll play it because that's my favorite character. But who knows? 2v2 with like an assist thing is interesting, but I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I'll wait for E3 to have a full opinion, I guess.
Oh yeah. No, I think part of it is a lot of people, because I don't specifically think that it's happening, but it's kind of fun to just be like, you know, if this is happening, this is who I'd like to see.
That's kind of where I
in it,
am.
and-
I'm like, I have no hopes or expectations, but if it's there, I'm with it. Other than that, whatever.
Yeah. Like I didn't know it was whenever I first heard it, I didn't know it was supposed to be like a 2v2. So I'm like, oh, it's fighter style. I'll pick a team of 3, and I'm like, I've got to have like Froppy in there because she's probably my favorite character in that series. She's the most like relatable character to me in that series because she's just so like, she actually thinks things through, and she looks at the consequences of like, if this, then this, and she doesn't just kind of barrel through and like, oh, whatever, I got superpowers. No, she's like,
Yeah.
you know, we actually have to
can
think,
understand.
guys. so I love her. Kaminari, I just love the fact that he can zap himself stupid.
But I feel like he's a really good like comedic relief character, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like he's sort of serious, and then like, you know, he zaps himself, and you're like, and there he is again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great. And then like I was having trouble like figuring out the third person. I finally like settled on Tokiyami, but I'm like, you know, do him, I think of his name now, and it's gonna bug me. Red Riot,
Kirishima.
yes, Kirishima. Like I can do him, Mirako. Hawks would be fun. Like there's so many people that would be fun to try out, that like just the idea of the game like floating around is, yeah.
It's interesting to think about, because then you like, you know, if it's a team game, then you think about like, oh, what kind of assists would they have, and then everything like that, and you're like, well, then like if you read the post, it was like it's gonna be more ground based. That's like, well, interesting. If it's not gonna be like crazy combos, I wonder what kind of mechanics they would put in to make it like, you know, because everybody wants to play combos, and especially if it's an anime game, like people want combos. That's what people like, especially even like casuals, like, you know, for all what it is with Dragon Ball and its auto combos, like, you know, I've seen some casual players head off some nice 2H combos. Like everybody wants at least some things to show off to their friends. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So who knows? I mean, like I said, like if it's there and it happens, I'm with it. I'll play it. You know, I'm gonna rock my either All Might Mirio team or my All Might Dabi team. You know, whatever. As long as I got the big man there, I'll play it.
Just because I am here, like,
Yeah.
and just pops in the scenes.
I just want him to be like so much bigger than all the other characters, just like walking around like this. Like that would be great.
It'd be like Z Broly posting up on GT Goku or something. Right?
Exactly how it would be. Yeah, like, what's up, little man? I know you're in school, but you know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great. All right, so one of the kind of closing questions I like to pose is, what is a secret talent that you have that people might not know about?
This is a I don't really have one. That's the thing. I always have this thing with my friends where we talk about, it's like an inside joke now. We call it the theory of natural talent, and I think that I'm like the sole survivor of everyone in the world has a natural talent except me. Like I can't figure it out. And then all my friends are like, "You're so good at talking to people." I'm like, "How is that a talent?" But that's what people say. They're like, "You're really good at talking to people." So I guess that's I'm personable. That's my talent.
Hey, that's a good talent to have in and of itself, man. I mean, like, just being
I
able
like talking
to
to people.
yeah, just being able to come on and shoot the shit with somebody and talking over a nice cup of tea,
Or non-generic brand energy sports drink that we won't have a name for.
Yeah, but it totally is not made from alligators.
Nope, not at all.
All right.
Unless there's a check involved, then it could be. It could be.
Then I'm gonna be wearing like that orange lightning bolt on my forehead. It'd be fine.
You have to call me Harry Potter when I get that tattooed on my head.
Ah, nice. All right, well, tGrass, I want to say thank you very much for coming on here, man. It's been a blast talking to you. Getting to know you a little bit better.
It was very fun.
Meeting a fellow Zelda nerd is always a great thing to do.
Oh, I love it.
All right, so if you guys don't know where to find this man, tGrass, let him know where to find you.
You guys can find me youtube.com/tgrass, twitch.tv/tgrass. On TikTok and Twitter, I'm tgrass715. Check out Guilty Grassroots. It's gonna be starting out on the 17th, I believe. I can't get the date right. It's the Thursday, the week after Guilty Gear drops. It's gonna be a ton of fun. New tournament series. That's really it. Thank you, P, for having me on. This was a ton of fun. And make sure you guys follow Agent P, subscribe, hit the bell. What's going on here? Come on, you made it this far and you didn't hit the bell yet? Unbelievable.
Oh, see, man, you just killed my outro there because that was everything I was gonna say. But yeah,
I'll say it for you. Hit the subscribe button.
Just listen to him, guys.
Like the video, thumbs up.
Drop a comment down below. All that good stuff.
There we go. It's a tag team here.
If you got somebody else that you'd like to see me get on here, drop that comment and I will do my best to get them on here. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for coming on, watching, enjoying the video. But most importantly, have a great day.
Take care.